Tell me your name and tell us about your project.
Hey, I'm Marvin Goods, and I work with Edwin Powell Hubble with studying the astronomy of stars and celestial bodies.
Where did you guys wait, what are you guys trying to do or find? Sorry.
Edwin and I are trying to understand why celestial bodies such as galaxies and stars have different shapes and sizes, and to understand how that relates into the overall universe.
What did the project wait, I don't know. I can't see that. What did the project or the experiment start?
The project started back in the year 1919, and this is back when Edwin was at the Hale Observatory, where he was studying the Andromeda galaxy, trying to understand, trying to figure out how far the Andromeda galaxy is from Earth. And the way he did that, he was using the Cepheid variables of the Andromeda galaxy and measuring that using the Cepheid variables to calculate the distance of the Andromeda galaxy from Earth. Um, and I saw him working on that study because I was doing a tour. I was on a tour at the Hale Observatory, and I saw the telescope that he was using. It was the largest telescope in the world at the time, and I was like, I really want to see what he's doing. I wanted to see his notes, and I really wanted to use the telescope. So I snuck off from my tour group, and I went to his office, and while he was using the telescope, I was really going through his notes and seeing a bunch of work that he had. He had photographic cards, he had notes and drawings of galaxies and mathematical calculations. And he noticed me before I noticed him, and he threatened to put me out. But I did tell him that I can assist him with trying to calculate the distance of the stars and the Andromeda galaxy from Earth. And he gave me a chance. So I proved to him my work, and here I am.
What other significant events were happening around this time?
At the time, you had the recently ended World War I, and at the time, I did not serve in World War I, but Edwin did. Edwin served a year in the military and came out as Major Edwin Powell Hubble. And right after the World War, you had the Prohibition, and Prohibition was a wild time. You had everybody freaking out because they couldn't get a drink. They didn't know how to get a drink. They didn't know where to get a drink, and it led to people making what they called it back then. They called it speakeasies. It led to people making speakeasies where they bought alcohol illegally. Um, and there was this pill going around. I forgot the creator, but I believe it was a woman. She tried to market out this pill to higher class higher class women. It was a something called like a baby control, birth control. That's what it's called. It was called birth control. So she made this pill called birth control, which helps prevent the pregnancy of women. And at the time, it wasn't really popular with upper class women, but lower class women, it really did thrive, and it's really starting to make a name for itself. But yeah, this is just 1919. Right after that, you have the War 20s, and everybody was having the time of their lives. The U.S. was thriving and everything, and it was a good year. It was a good 10 year, good decade.
Who was involved in the project?
Um, Other than me, you had Milton Humason. He was the assistant of Edwin Hubble, and Humason was a pretty interesting guy on his own. He dropped out of school around the age of 14, and he ended up helping build the Hale Observatory. And from there, he ended up working on the maintenance as the janitor of the Hale Observatory. And he did a bunch of volunteer work that managed to give him a promotion as a honorary staff member of the Hale Observatory. And he didn't stop there. He ended up making a bunch of keen astronomy observations for Hale Observatory that led to different discoveries. And the best part about all of this, he did this all without having a PhD, master's, bachelor's, or high school degree. He just had talent and merit, and they got him this far and landed him as the assistant of the famous Edwin Hubble.
What was your role in the project?
My role in this project was to help Edwin calculate the distance between galaxies and compile a list of galaxy patterns, like the Andromeda galaxy is about 800,000 light years away from Earth, using Cepheid variables, and then you had the list of the list of galaxies. There were galaxies that had like similar color, similar shape and size, and I noticed that looking at the galaxies that were bigger or more congested versus the galaxies that were smaller or stretched out, I noticed that their wavelengths, the wavelengths of the smaller galaxies, they had their wavelengths. It was more so stretched out. It was a redshift. That's what Edwin called it. The galaxies that were smaller and receding had a redshift, meaning that they were further away, and the galaxies and celestial bodies that were closer had their wavelengths squished together, which is called a blue shift, meaning they were closer to the observed eye. So with that, Edwin managed to determine that galaxies that experience a redshift are moving further away due to their distance and velocity, and in the proportion of the distance and velocity, he managed to develop the Hubble effect that pretty much says that any celestial body or galaxy where their distance from one celestial body to another, the greater the distance means that the faster they're moving away or the faster that they're receding, which pretty much means that the galaxy is ever expanding. The Hubble effect pretty much says that the universe is forever expanding. That was crazy. That was crazy.
What impact did your project have on the community?
I just told you. The impact of the Hubble effect was that the universe is forever expanding. My compilation of different galaxy sizes led to Edwin discovering and proving that the universe is forever expanding, due to the fact that the distance of one celestial body from another is proportional to the velocity. So the further the distance from one galaxy is from another, the faster that it's moving away, the faster that it is receding. That also means that the wavelength is also receding. So the galaxy is forever expanding, and this backed up the idea that the Big Bang Theory is true. And you had Albert Einstein at the time, who believed that the steady state model was the true model of the universe. And when Einstein reviewed Hubble's theory about Hubble's theory about the universe ever expanding, it proved to Einstein that Einstein was wrong about the universe being a steady state and not having a point of origin. The universe has a point of origin, and the universe is ever expanding, and it refuted the idea of the steady state model that Einstein believed in.
What would you have done differently about this project?
The only thing that I would have done differently about this project was work with Edwin and Milton longer. Milton alone, he had a lot of knowledge and experience of working the observatory and know how to use his tools. And Edwin had the endless knowledge of space and astronomy. And compared to him, I only knew a fraction of what he knew about the about space and everything. So me just being working under one, if not both of them, really put a perspective of not knowing enough about something and just wanting to learn more and more about the universe.